Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about His Only Son. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. This is a faith based movie, and faith based movies can do well. I have to show up here. I guess, no, faith based film is probably more broad. Here we go. All right, so faith-based movies, they have a weird history, filled with a lot of success and failure. But when they hit, they hit. I mean, Jesus Revolution is proof of that. Like last month, I guess 2 months ago, technically, that opened nicely, and it's made almost $50 million. So that's pretty solid, I'd say. Not to mention a lot of movies in the past, like gotta scroll to find them. Overcomer, Breakthrough, I guess Unplanned to an extent. Um, what else is there? I can only imagine. That's a big one. I don't know. The Stars, sure. I guess there's the Shack. I guess Hacksaw Ridge. I guess that has a bit of a faith based element to it. Um, Miracles from Heaven, Risen. Uh, Trying to find some other War Room. That's a big one. What else is there? Heaven is for real. God's not dead. Son of God. Yeah, just like a courageous Soul Surfer, Fireproof, Nativity Story, and the big one, Passion of the Christ. Obviously. So, yeah, faith-based movies, if they're marketed well and if they really appeal to that core audience, they can make money. So I'm gonna label that as a pro, but there's also a con to it, but I'll talk about that later. So that's pro number one, being a faith based movie. But pro number two is the timing of this movie, especially it being faith based. Easter is next week, if you didn't know. And there's like two sides of Easter, just like how there's two sides of Christmas. You got the commercial side and you got the religious side. So like how Christmas, it's either about Santa and presents and all that jazz, and the religious side's about the birth of Jesus. Well, for Easter, it's either about the Easter bunny and Easter egg hunts and all that jazz, and Jesus being crucified on the cross. So a real, a real contrast right there. So yeah, and obviously, yeah, Easter, is very much like a big deal if you're religious. So releasing a movie like this right near Easter is big brain, very big brain move. And that could help it. It might help it survive at least one more week before it dies completely. So yeah, I say the timing of this movie is very much ideal. So that's a pro, definitely. Being a With this movie being a faith-based movie coming out like right before Easter. Very good, solid plan. So that's pro. Any other pro? I mean, competition isn't. There's no real direct competition. I mean, it's just not. I guess it's Jesus Revolution, but that's been out for so long. That's pretty much out of theaters at this point. Besides that, there's John Wick Chapter 4 and Dungeons and Dragons, which is kind of hilarious because Dungeons and Dragons, was like had like this stigma like in the 80s, like it was like linked to like Satanism, or they try to try to accuse it of Satanism, kind of like how they accused Pokemon as Satanism, which is so dumb now, but people actually did that. And um yeah, so besides those two movies, no one's really gonna watch anything else, so that definitely gives this movie a chance to succeed, at least for one weekend, maybe two if it's lucky with Easter. But yeah, the competition isn't too harsh. There's really no direct competition, so I label that as a pro. And I think that's really it. I think that's it. Okay. So cons. I can't imagine this movie is gonna have a long life because like you have this weekend and then you have next weekend and then what's after that? Nothing. It's just nothing. Like after Easter, this movie is completely irrelevant. That's what happened with Passion of the Christ. Passion of the Christ came out in late February and it just did crazy numbers and but it fell and fell and fell until like went up a decent amount for Easter weekend and then it fell off the face of the earth after that. So yeah, if you're a faith-based movie after Easter, you're kind of irrelevant. Kind of like what happened to like the Halloween movies, like the recent Halloween movies, how like they did well, they made most majority of their money before Halloween and during Halloween and after Halloween, dead, over, finito. And I feel like the same is gonna happen here. I guess it also this also kind of happens with romance movies after Valentine's Day or movies about Christmas after Christmas, stuff like that. So I imagine the same is gonna happen here to an extent. So yeah. So yeah, the timing is both a blessing and a curse. So yeah, longevity is going to be a big problem, so that's a con. Another con is that what are the reviews for? Are there even any reviews? I don't I'm not seeing any. I'm looking it up now if I can. There are no reviews, but the audience score is at 95%. Of course, they'll love it. Like the faith-based audience is like the easiest audience to please. Like if you just give them like what they want, like the right message and stuff, they will eat it up. No matter how shit it is, they will eat it up. That's a fact. Okay. And I think that's kind of bad, but that's just how it is. So, yeah, I mean, reviews are kind of non existent, but audience score is still good. I might as well label the audience score as a pro, but I guess I can't really label reviews as a pro when I'm not seeing any. I mean, there's like three reviews. I can't really judge a movie based off three reviews. That's kind of silly. um, I guess another con is that there's just a lot. Even though a lot of the movies are, there's still a lot of stuff out. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out next. Well, I guess this month now. This month in April and that is gonna really hurt this movie's legs. It's not even gonna have much legs after Easter. But yeah, a lot of movies, especially next week. You got the Super Mario Brothers movie expected to make big money, and it's gonna just suck up all those box office dollars. Yeah, this movie's gonna. A lot of movies are gonna suffer. This could suffer a bit even with Easter. It might suffer a little bit, but yeah, yeah. But after that, all the other movies come out in April. Oof. So dealing with all that, that's a con. Big con. Um I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. Oh yeah, faith-based movies. They are so unpredictable, it's crazy. Like like you never know if they're going to be hits or bombs. You just don't know until it happens. Like say it's I mean, this trying to think of like an infamous bomb. I'm not counting. I still believe that had to do with COVID, so that's disqualified. It gets a pass from me. But I mean, there's a lot of some notable faith-based bombs. I guess there's Indivisible didn't do good. Unbroken Path to Redemption didn't do good at all. God's Not Dead 3 did bad. Oh, Paul Apostle of Christ. That did. I don't know if that did good or bad. That did meh. Especially because that was like a week before Easter, just like his only son. Is that what it was called? Yeah, his only son. Just the same situation, and it still didn't make money. So that's kind of a red flag. I'm trying to think of some other ones, some other notable ones. A Case for Christ. I get that was also a week before Easter, and that didn't do well either. So, ugh. Trying to think of God's Not Dead 2 came out a week after Easter, which is really strange. But that's well, it would have gone up against Batman v Superman, so can't blame it too much. Um, I guess there's Little Boy. Do you still believe? Yeah, faith-based movies are. Oh, Christian Mingle the movie. That's a disaster right there. Oh my god. Oh no, I'm getting flashbacks of like watching like videos of that movie. I think it was Curtis Connor or like pretty much it where they made like a video about it. And it had like that movie had like some blatantly racist stuff in it. I'm like, Jesus, what is this? Oh no. God. And there's Left Behind with Nicolas Cage. Nobody watched that. And um yeah, and the movie was also very, very, very bad. Um but yeah, faith-based movies are like stupid, unpredictable. You never know if they're gonna do well or not. I mean, Running the Bases made like no money last year, so yeah, yeah, it's an unpredictable genre, so that's a con in my book. But yeah, I think that's it. So opening weekend, what do you want me to say? I don't even have the faintest. Actually, I do have the faintest clue because I looked at early numbers from this movie. And apparently it's doing really well according to like midday numbers. Let me see. I'm seeing like 5.8 million, which is really good for a movie that's gotten like no publicity. Well, its publicity I imagine is like through like grassroots campaigns and stuff like that. So, yeah. Um and it's in like almost 2000 theaters. It's like 1900 theaters, which is a decent amount of stuff. So a decent amount of theaters. So I'm gonna say 4 to 6 million. That's what I'm going with. 4 to 6 million, and then it's total. I'd be shocked if this got past 10 or 15 million. I'd be amazed, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So yeah, less than 15 million total, and that's it. So yeah, two more movies to go. Fuck me. Here we got Spinning Gold and 1001. So stay tuned for those. And yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? Got playlists on the homepage, all previous um prediction videos I made this year. So if you want to watch any of those or any of the ones I've done the past few years, you can go right ahead. There's also uh, shoot, the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I never covered this movie once, mainly because I didn't know it even existed until like very recently. So yeah, there's 183 episodes. If you want to watch any of those from beginning to now, you want to binge them all from beginning to now, I highly encourage that. So go do it. There's also uh box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. March recap will come out after Easter, so stay tuned for that. If you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.